So welcome back everyone to another episode of Chat with Dan. Joining me today, what can I say? We have the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the one and only, the incredible Marie. Marie, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
You're fantastic. What better way to start up the weekend than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
Wow, thank you.
Now, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. But also, in the description below, you're going to find all of Marie's social media. Let's follow her. Let's find out why she's super badass. Without further ado, let's jump in. Right. So I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the first question, which is, when you strip away roles, credits, and expectations, tell me who you are at your core.
I'm just a flawed person who wants to be loved, accepted, and feel safe. And I also have a deep respect for animals, all humans, and I'm trying to get better every day.
Early in your acting journey, what did you believe your worth was tied to?
Well, I think I still feel like this because I still feel like I'm early in my acting journey. I mean, the number of roles and callbacks that I would get and even audition requests. It's hard to separate that from your self-worth.
How well have you become to be able to separate that as back when you were starting?
I've definitely gotten better with it because I've done so many auditions now and gotten so much rejection. You do kind of get used to it, but it still does hurt sometimes when I feel like I did really well with an audition, or I really gave something my all, or I really felt like I was right for a role. And then not getting it, that's tough because it makes you feel like something's inherently wrong with you.
Mm. No.
Yeah.
And when reality did not match those expectations, as you know, back when you were starting out, how did that impacted you emotionally?
It's painful. It affected me and still affects me negatively, but I also think it's a good thing because it makes the wins so much sweeter and it makes you appreciate the wins even more. It affects me emotionally for sure.
And how did financially uncertainty shape your mindset during the early years of acting?
I mean, that's the scariest part about going into acting and anything else in the arts, right? I think everyone would probably want to go into the arts if there was more financial certainty. I come from a really practical family who, I don't have anyone really in entertainment in my family, and most of my friends, work 9-to-5 jobs. So I was raised to be very practical, and acting is not very practical because you got to pay the bills. But that's, financial uncertainty definitely made me question, and still sometimes makes me question if I'm in the right career.
Totally. And now that you mentioned that, tell me, was it challenging, like during the first years of your, of your acting career, coming from a background that nobody kind of works in the arts?
Definitely. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just knew that there was something inside me pulling me in this direction and telling me that this was what I was supposed to do. And I really believe if you're meant to do something, you just figure it out. It just, I don't know. I wanted it so bad that I just figured out how to set up my Actors Access account and take my own acting classes. I moved out to LA by myself because there was some drive inside of me. Where it came from, I have no idea, but it's there.
And how was the response of your family and friends when you were telling them that you wanted this as a career? Did you have like a little bit of a backlash or not at all?
No, a little bit of a backlash. Kind of, laughs and like, what? I remember when I was a kid, I would sometimes mention that I wanted to be an actress, but I was also kind of embarrassed about it because I remember one time one of my cousins said, "Oh, you mean you're a wannabe actress?" And like it just, people, I think it comes from a place of jealousy also from them. I think sometimes people wish that they could do something similar. So, they like to tear you down. And then from my immediate family, like my parents, I think they just want me to be happy ultimately, but also safe and financially secure. So, which is very understandable. So I think they were just concerned about me being able to pay the bills.
Was there a moment when things looked successful from the outside, but from the inside felt quite heavy?
I think that I feel that way now, even because is so much uncertainty with this job. And from the outside, I mean, I look at actors who, A-list actors now who still say they feel a lot of uncertainty. Like, will I ever be hired for a job again? And that's just kind of something that's always going to be there, I think. And it's hard to explain that to someone from the outside. If they're only seeing the successes, they're not seeing the everyday uncertainty and all the auditions you do. Because at least me, I only will book maybe like 1% of the auditions that I do. And no one's seeing everything
No.
that you don't book.
What rejection or moment in your acting career forced you to confront yourself the most?
I'm sure every actress knows about this open casting call that happened a couple years ago. It was for the Elle show, the Legally Blonde spin-off show. There was just an open casting call, and I thought I was a shoo-in for that. I thought I would at least get a call back or something because I am Elle Woods. I actually, before becoming an actor, I was an attorney talking about going to school and doing practical things. And, I'm also an animal rights advocate. Elle Woods is. I went to the same school as Reese Witherspoon. I'm from the same place. I thought I nailed the audition. I was just like, this is going to be my big break because there's no part that's better for me. And if I don't get this, then I guess I'm just not a good actor because this part was written for me. And of course, it was just an open casting call. So looking back, I think I should have done something more than just submit that audition into the abyss. But I didn't have representation at the time. I didn't have a manager, agent, or anything. So I didn't know what I was doing. And yeah, so that was pretty hard not getting anything back, not even getting a call back or anything from that.
And switch it to our next quick section, speed round questions, yes or no, pass, super simple. Gonna ask you a couple of questions in which you can only answer yes, no, or pass. You ready?
Yes.
So, have you ever waited weeks for an answer that took seconds to say no?
Yes.
Have you memorized scenes that never made it past the audition room?
Yes.
Have you ever been told you were perfect but still not right?
No.
Have you learned to live with uncertainty better than most people know you?
Yes.
Okay. Have you celebrated a win that looked very small to everyone else?
Yes.
Have you questioned your entire path while still loving the craft?
Yes.
Have you learned to separate rejection from self worth?
No.
Do you think actors develop patience faster than most people?
No.
Has acting taught you more about yourself than success did?
Yes.
And do you believe this journey has made you stronger in quiet ways?
Yes.
And a
Mhm.
bonus one, can you cry on cue?
Depends on the day. I know that's not a yes or no.
I'll take it as a yes. I'll take it as a yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, moving on here. Tell me, after this whole situation happened, what changed you and how you handled doubt and fear after that?
I've really come to learn that what's right for you won't pass you by. If you're meant to have a role, then you'll get that role. And if a role isn't meant for you, then you won't get that role. And that's hard. It's like I know that in my head, but it's hard, some things that are true. It's hard to accept those in your heart still. So it's hard to accept it even though I know that in my head and I have to tell myself that all the time.
And I mean, it's understandable. Nobody likes being rejected. So, of course, that
Yeah.
maybe at first it will kind of sting a little, but
Yeah.
later on you can move on with your life. But still, it hurts. You know.
Yeah. And luckily it's with this like I'm doing so many auditions and self tapes that you kind of don't have time to dwell on rejection because if you get stuck in that mindset, you're not going to have the space or the mental capacity to focus on your other work. So
Totally.
it's sort of a survival thing as well.
I mean, it's just the way it is, right?
Hmm.
So, and what inner battle do you still face today that people might not see?
Probably imposter syndrome would be the best way to put it. I have really bad imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. I think because I didn't come from a family of anyone in the arts. No one ever told me or gave me permission to do this. I did it all on my own. And I didn't grow up as a child actor. I wasn't even in plays in high school. And so I have really bad imposter syndrome thinking what did I do to deserve this or be a working actor or why me? I struggle with that a lot.
As your definition of success has evolved, what matters more now than booking a role?
Just knowing that I tried my hardest and a lot of times doing auditions it's about booking the room and creating a good relationship with casting directors and I think if you do your best work but you're not meant for the role that's more important in the long run a lot of times than booking that specific role.
And if acting disappeared tomorrow, what part of you would still remain?
Could I say the want to act and be creative in some way? I just because, I worked a 9 to 5 job before this and I realized I can't do that. So I would have the need to be creative in some capacity.
What made you have this idea that you can't be on a 9 to 5? Now that you mentioned that.
Doing it and realizing even if I tried, I couldn't stay in it. Just sitting at a desk and going to the same place day after day and interacting with all the same people. What I love about acting, or one of the things I love, is going to different sets and different locations and meeting so many new people and just absorbing it all and learning so much. So that was really hard for me with a 9 to 5 was the routine.
Mm. It can bore you easily.
Yeah.
Like I totally get it. And it's interesting because maybe for some people that works, which is fine. But I still wonder why we have to treat. Well, I mean, why we have to go for the same path like every single one of us. Why you have to do the exact same thing over and over instead of trying to find something else. And if you have I don't know, if you have this because we're all different, right? So if you have like this kind of yeah, if you're more into the creative side, why not actually exploiting that? That is one of the things that at least I'm kind of seeing with this new generation that they're kind of putting them depending on their abilities. As back then, they were like, you will have to do like the for the same path, regardless if you are good in math or good in arts or good in music, you go to the same path, yes or yes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, totally. I think it is changing though, with the internet and social media where there are so many new jobs that are available now and there's an awareness that we can have different jobs. I was just talking to my mom about this cuz she was like, back in my day, the only way you could find a job or make money was looking in the paper for jobs that were available and you just kind of took what you could get, but without I can't imagine not having the internet, like, and not being able to look up how to do certain things or how to take acting classes or even, like, submit myself for jobs, like, I can't imagine not
yeah.
having it. So I feel really lucky to, be around in this day and age.
Yeah, it's challenging. Imagine what my family said when I told them that I want to become a content creator on my kind of finishing my 20s, starting my 30s. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like
yeah, really.
it's just the way it is. And I have discovered that it's so interesting that back then, I had kind of the same thing that if I wanted to do something else, my family would be treating that as a hobby. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, sure, it's fine, but that could be a hobby.
Yeah.
And I could say like, no, I want to try something else. I don't want to be in an office for the rest of my life. But then later on, you start to discover that hey, you need to pay bills, so you can have you can have a regular 9 to 5 to pay stuff, but make sure that on your free time you work on your other craft.
Mhm.
So eventually, you can go more for your craft and eventually just create your own thing, basically. You know,
Mhm. Yeah. And that was another reason for me, I realized I couldn't do my 9 to 5 anymore because it was, I was an attorney and it was more than a 9 to 5. It was like constant and I didn't have time to really do anything outside of it. So,
totally.
yeah.
Yeah, but hey, here you are making it happen, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, very cool.
I mean, challenging for sure, and it's interesting because sometimes people would only see the successes, right, like the wins, and not see like the actual path you're working on, but you're making happen. And I think that takes like more guts to it, to actually be persistent in, especially in acting, knowing that you can your next audition could be your biggest break or not. You know what I mean? Like that, like this whole thing. So
Yeah. I mean, it is challenging, but every career is challenging, just a different type of challenging. And I would take this uncertainty over being bored at a 9 to 5 any day.
and years from now, what truth about your acting journey do you hope people truly understand?
I don't even know if people are even thinking about me years from now in my acting journey. I hope they can just take the emotional vulnerability from it and maybe relate to it some way or maybe feel less alone in the world. Why most of us actors want to do acting is to feel connection and to feel less alone and to maybe make others feel less alone as well.
What motivates you? We all have those days that basically we just want to quit. It's inevitable. So how you stay focused on one of those days?
Kinda like I said at the beginning, there's just some inner drive that I have in me that wants to act, and I can't put my finger on it, but I'm feel very passionate about acting and not wanting to have an ordinary life and, wanting to feel all the things. That's what motivates me to keep going, to continue to be able to be a working actor and have this as my career.
Pretty cool. And you know what? My last question, so we can all relax and enjoy. So, what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
Maybe what's for you won't pass you by, since I
Sounds
said
good
that.
to me. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that sounds like a franchise. Who knows, right? That could be your
Yeah.
bio movie. Just
Yeah,
saying.
my biopic
hmm That could be the title.
I've
Who
heard
knows?
some people say biopic, but it's biopic, right?
I do think it's biopic.
Biopic,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I've had a
This new
couple
generation is killing me. Yeah, yeah.
biopic,
Yeah. No, it's biopic. For
yeah,
sure, it's biopic.
biopic.
Um, yeah, yeah. And I mean, at the end, what can I say, Maria? I mean, it's incredible. I love the fact you're making this happen. You know that you went outside the 9 to 5 to pursue something totally different here, but you're making it happen. And I think that's super badass because you're not also creating cool content. You're also showing us that dreams are possible, and I think that's super huge and super positive. And I think positivity is super important, especially now in this crazy day we're currently living in. The fact that we can rely on people like you, that's badass. And I will discover why you're super badass. So there you go.
Thank you, Dan.
Pretty cool. Yeah. I do want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But by this point, come on. We all discover why Marie is super badass. Let's follow her. Let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Marie. And again, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep rocking. Keep kicking ass. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Thank you.